My name is Maria Turner. I was diagnosed in 2016 with originally frontal temporal dementia at the age of 48. At the time, I was a critical care nurse, RN. And to say that was devastating is really an understatement. I then pursued a lot of tests and went to a lot of different hospitals, and they eventually pinned it down to probable CTE that I sustained from multiple horse riding accidents and motor vehicle accidents, and the damages to my parietal and frontal lobe. And so I've been living with this now for 6 years. Yeah, 6 years coming up this year, April 1st. So it wasn't an April Fool's joke either. So the first 6 months, I must admit, it was hard. But since then, I have put myself into advocacy a lot, helping other people. That's why I'm here today. And I live alone with dementia. Initially, when I got diagnosed, I was married. And 6 months later, he decided he wasn't going to be in my life anymore. So that was pretty challenging. But I understand this journey isn't for everybody. So I've made peace with that. So then I've had some other family members who have stepped up to be there for me, but due to marriage and other circumstances, they no longer choose to be part of this journey either. So I understand that. It's painful. So no, I don't have any family on this journey with me, but I do have a lot of friends. I do have a dear friend who I've known for 17 years, who is my healthcare power of attorney now. So if anything happens, she knows my wishes. And I also have, which I highly recommend, an independent financial power of attorney. And she takes care of, I take care of everything financially, bills and everything while I can. But if anything, happens, she would be able to sign documents for me. So I think that's important, because right at the beginning of my journey, I was told to, stop working, give up everything, start preparing for a life in assisted living. And I gave up all my all my rights to anything. I signed over everything to people. And looking back now, those people maybe weren't the correct choices, but at the time they were in my life. So I really do encourage people to really think really, really carefully and put a lot of thought into who they're going to have by the side of them on their journey. And also that they maintain independence as long as they can. And there's things I would have done now, knowing what I know now. There's things I would have done when I was in those first 6 months, I wouldn't have done. But they're done, and I encourage others. And by my experience, and it's not pretty, but I choose to see it as a positive thing because I can help other people, And so yes, I'm very lucky. I have a village really of friends, and everybody has different roles. It's not just one person. I have friends who have got different qualities and we have different relationships, different support. I mean, they're all support in their own unique ways, and it's a two-way thing. It's a partnership.
So it sounds like you really built a family of sorts and a lot of support from people around you, and really help pull a team together so that you really have a team coming together to support you now.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a team. It is a team, definitely. And it's a team that, I mean, I'd love to have a picture of all of us together because it's so diverse. I mean, it's so diverse, the people I have in my life, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it one little bit because it's amazing. And my online support group are a big, support groups are a big part of that team, and they always have been. And the connections I've made through that are just amazing. So yeah, not traditional, but you can make it work. You can make it work,
So what concerns do you have for yourself as you move forward now that you've built this team and kind of pulled people together?
I think, ultimately at the end of the day, being alone, living alone, yes, I have all these people, but and I can put my computer on at any time. I can pick up the phone. I can text. There's nobody with me day in, day out, and to witness the changes. And I'm very good at compensating and showing up and putting on a good face. It's behind the scenes. And who is going to tell me when maybe it's time maybe to start thinking about not living alone? How many times do I have to maybe do something that is maybe dangerous, and there's nobody else to really judge that. And there's nobody else to daily to witness that. And I think this is a problem for a lot of people living alone with dementia, especially younger people, and especially people who are, maybe were care partners for people with dementia, like I was for 12 years, who all were carers, were nurses. We're very good at being able to show up for other people, but sometimes I can be on support groups all day and then realize I haven't eaten, I haven't taken care of myself. And then I switch the computer off and then I just sit here and there isn't anybody here. And so I will maybe do something, like leave the stove on, or, do something that is pretty, dangerous. And how many times do I keep making that mistake before I am able to tell somebody, or, I think that's my biggest worry, is knowing and recognizing the changes and deteriorations that I can no longer safely live alone. I do have my little dog, and he does tell me some things, but other than that, I think that's one of the biggest things I think that we need to address is, when do we who are living alone know? I mean, I hear a lot of talk about people saying, when do we know our loved one is ready to go into a facility, or, and I kind of want to say, when do we who live alone, how are we going to gauge how we maybe need to start thinking about a facility or, an assisted living?
So, Maria, what advice would you like to share with others who are living alone and are living with a dementia?
Oh my goodness, just stay connected. Stay connected. I mean, every opportunity you can, if you can, just stay connected. You don't even have to be on screen. I mean, just like Tipa's morning things at 8:00. I mean, they start my day, 8:00, that gets me into the mind frame, to start thinking, to start engaging and realizing there's other people, you're not alone, just stay connected with people. Absolutely. And keep talking and encouraging the conversations. And like, this is a painful conversation to have, but have them, be brave and but stay connected. There's always somebody to listen. And, as long as I can, I will stay supporting people as long as I can. I think COVID has been a blessing, where it's brought people into our world, that we can do this without actually being in person. People kind of were noticing that, you know, they're isolated, everything has stopped, their worlds have changed, you know. And I was like, well, that's kind of what happens with a dementia diagnosis, you know. I mean, everything changes, you know, and you're suddenly, you can't go to work, there's things you can't do, you know, you have to look at things differently. And that's exactly what happens with a dementia diagnosis. And we're not infectious, you know, and you're suddenly isolated, and your only means of communication. And you know, 4 or 5 years ago, there wasn't any in-person groups. It was, you know, we only had Zoom, you know. And so, yeah, it's been very interesting. And living alone during a pandemic with dementia has definitely been interesting. Yeah, so people were like, everything has changed, all my rights have been taken away and all my freedoms. And I'm just like, really? You know, at the end of this, you are going to be able to go back to work. You are going to be able, you know, for those of us who that happened to, we're not, you know, and right now we don't have a cure, you know, and, you know, we don't have any vaccination. We don't have that yet, you know, so come on. Let's just all be compassionate and work through this together, you know. And I feel we've got a lot to teach others too. I think as living with this, we do. I think the reason why I advocate so much, even when I'm not very well myself, is that I've learned so much, and that I really want to pass on, while I still can, the things I have learned and the research that I have done and the people I have met and the connections. I just want to be able to bring all that together while I can, you know. And so, yes, it was devastating, but there's a lot of good things have come out of it. It's been hard. But I'm living my best life as I can every single day. And that means helping people is a big part of that, because being a nurse for over 30 years, there's no way that can just suddenly stop one day. I don't do this advocacy for any recognition. It's not a competition. We're just here to be help for each other. We're all in this together. That's the thing. You know, we are all in this together. And that's, you know, the programs that I've helped develop, you know, I mean, to see everybody coming together, you know, we can all learn from each other. And that's why I love, you know, the getting involved, you know, in the mornings. You know, I see things from other people's perspectives. It's very easy to just sit in your little space behind your keyboards, you know, and there's this big world, and you can be connected, you know, like you, Rachel, and Corey. I mean, I've met Teepa, but I've never met you in person, but I've really got a connection with you. And so, you know, it's so important these days, especially now.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to help us spread Teepa's positive approach message around the world. And don't forget to click the bell to get notified when new videos are posted.